let's begin with the treble clef. The treble clef is a big curvy clef which curls around this line. And when we draw a treble clef, we always make sure the curve and the hook create a target right here on this line. There are many ways to draw a treble clef, and this is how I draw. First, I draw a hook from the bottom and glide all the way up and slide down into a lollipop. As you can see, I draw the clef in one stroke. There are 5 lines here. The clef is sitting on the first line, and the curved line curls around the second line. And this line is called G line. When we put a note here, this note will be G. Another name for the treble clef is called G clef. So now everything just makes more sense. The G clef will help us to find the note G. Now let's talk about the note middle C. The middle C is located right at the middle of the piano. To find the note, the brand or the name of the piano is usually in front of it. Another reason why we call this middle C is because in the grand stave, middle C is located here, at the middle of the treble clef and the bass clef. When in treble clef stave, the middle C is written at the bottom. While in bass clef stave, the middle C is written on top of the stave. Now, there is a problem with the notes I draw here. All musical notes have to touch at least one line. For example, if I draw a note here, this note is touching a line. If I draw a note here, the note is on a line. I can also draw a note here and this note touches 2 lines. So the problem with this note is this note isn't touching any line. To make this right, we add a short line across the note to extend the stave like this. And we call this ledger line. If I were to play this note with the right hand, I just need to add a stem pointing up towards the treble stave. I could also draw the same note with a ledger line and draw a stem pointing downwards to the bass stave. So here, I've drawn middle C in bass clef and middle C in treble clef. Both of them are the same middle C, just that when the stem is pointing up, you play it with your right hand, whereas when the stem is pointing down, you play with the left hand. For bass clef, the line between these 2 dots here is one of our landmarks. In treble clef, we have the landmark note G. Now, in bass clef, the landmark note here is F. Since G clef helps us to find G note, therefore F clef will be the other name for bass clef because it helps us to find the note F. When we draw a bass clef, make sure it touches the top line and the 4th line in between the dots will be the F line. When a dot is written on this line, it will be F note. And there we go! G, middle C, and F notes as our landmark notes. Once we remember these landmark notes, it makes our note reading easier. Don't forget to subscribe and catch my next video on Learn to Read Music Notes.